Hello again, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Inside Tulsa Athletics as we continue to follow the athletic programs of the Tulsa Public Schools. And a great show lined up for you today as we talk not only about the Booker T. Washington football team playing for the state championship, but we take a look at wrestling and we take a look at boys and girls basketball. All of that coming up right here on Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard from the city of Tulsa, Lauren Colbert. And Lauren, the things that you do that are involved from the city of Tulsa to the education to the athletic programs,
Yes.
It's just remarkable.
It's been fun. It's been a fun year. We do have a sponsorship with Tulsa Public Schools Athletic Department. The best part about this sponsorship is I get to go into the schools every single week. So elementary school, so usually 1st to 6th grade. But I go in Thursday, Friday, and I kind of just take over the PE class. And we learn about the trash in the city of Tulsa and that it goes to a waste to energy facility. So all of your trash, if you live in Tulsa, in a gray cart is actually burned. So I do teach them that. We talk about the recycling, what you can recycle and what you can't recycle. So basically recyclables and then contamination. I teach them about the word, about how it affects our recycling stream. And then after we learn about all that, we play a relay where I set up the blue recycling carts. We go to the end of the gym and they look into this, I have these 2 black bins that I have contamination in there mixed in with recycling. They have to pick one recyclable item, throw it in their blue cart and run back. And so when I first go in there, they're like, oh, we're learning about trash and recycling, that's great. And then, of course they're sarcastic. And then by the end they're loving the game, and it's important to listen and learn about the recycling because in the game, if you pick the contamination item, and you throw it into your blue cart, your team's disqualified. So of course it puts a lot of pressure on all the kids to really listen and learn about what is recyclable in your blue carts. And that way they can go home, and really the whole point of this is going home and teaching their parents and their siblings and their neighbors that what we do want in that cart and what we don't. Our biggest contaminant right now in the stream is plastic bags. The Walmart sacks, the Reese's, wherever they're shopping, you get your plastic bags, and we do not want those in there. It's a little confusing because there's a recycling symbol and it says please recycle, which just means it's recyclable somewhere, so take it back to Walmart, but it's not recyclable in our stream. So we do focus on that a lot as well.
In doing that with the youngsters, and especially with the elementary kids, that has to be rewarding to you to see them accept it and begin to think about it. And it is important that that does come about now.
Yep, it is. And we do have we have billboard space and bus shelters and different media spend out there, and we run commercials on this station as well. But really what the biggest benefit we found is face-to-face. So building that relationship, really teaching them what is and isn't recyclable, because anyone can read a sign, but if they never visit it or never really learn about it, it's really...
Well, I think it's so good that you got involved with Gil Cloud, Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, and the way you are working with him and working with the program. That's just remarkable, I think.
Made it fun. We tried to make it fun at least, put a little twist on it. So.
And do you see this really carrying over into adulthood for the kids?
Oh, of course, yes. So that's why we're teaching them now, and again, so they can go home and teach their parents. But then as these kids grow and they have homes here in Tulsa, they'll know, or it'll be second nature to them as far as the gray cart and the blue cart trash recycling, and they'll automatically know, they won't be confused. And of course, this program just rolled out 5 years ago in 2012, so it is still new. And a lot of people are trying, and they're what we call hopeful recyclers, so they do want to, but they might not know. There's been times that I've gone to PE classes and the coach wants to show me the recycling bin and it'll have plastic bags, so they're trying.
Yes.
But really, just because it has that recycling symbol doesn't mean it's recyclable in our stream. So.
Well, this has to be rewarding for you because as time has passed, you see it growing.
We do.
You see the dedication and the sincerity
Yep.
of the kids involved,
Yep.
and that's got to be rewarding for
It
you.
is, yeah. We're seeing the recycling going up, so we have a bigger more tonnage of recycling, and we're seeing the contamination rate go down, which is great, which means more money back to the city of Tulsa, and eventually, if we increase recycling, decrease contamination, their trash rates will go down as well. So,
How far do you see this spreading, maybe in the metropolitan area and across the state? How far is it going to go?
well, our main focus is the city of Tulsa, right? So we focus on the residents who pay for recycling, for trash and recycling services. Well, recycling is built into that, but really our main focus is just here for now, and then of course expanding into the schools and everything like that. So.
Well, I know that it has to be rewarding, and that I'm sure some new things come to mind that you might want to do, and
Yep.
could you share some of that?
We've thought about playing different games. We do go to high school basketball and football games, so we reach the elementary school kids in their PE classes, and then we reach families and the older kids at their games. So I set up a booth. I sometimes have candy. I like to bribe them over. And of course I have pamphlets and magnets for them to take home from there, and then reaching them from there where it's not as much of taking over PE class, but it's just an open table where they can approach me with questions if they have any.
Well, I know one thing, that what you're doing is so important, and I know that it is so appreciated by the Tulsa Public Schools, as well as I'm sure all of the parents and every place that you work. But it's a pleasure having you aboard.
Thank you.
Look to have you back soon and continue that good work.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head basketball coach at Daniel Webster High School, Coach Scott Bowman. And Coach, you're starting your 7th year as the head of the Webster Warrior basketball program, and you seem to be very excited about it.
Yes, we got to kick it off Tuesday night at McLean. It's a great atmosphere, a good way to start a season in a gym like that. It's loud, a lot of fans there every year. I was just talking earlier about last 3 games have been decided at the buzzer in that gym, so it gave the crowd a good game to watch.
Well, I tell you what, when they are decided by the last shot, it really lets you go. If you win it, it lets you go away happy, doesn't it?
That's right, but one difference in a game can be the difference of just happy all Thanksgiving and being depressed all Thanksgiving. So,
Well, kind of go through the Warrior lineup, the kids that you have back from last year, and how they are progressing as far as the practices are concerned as the season is now starting.
Well, our main guy back is David Ward. Most people know him. He's going to have, career-wise, he's probably going to be over 2,000 points and over 1,000 rebounds. This Tuesday night game, he had a 22 and 21 rebounds. So, I mean, he just does a lot for us. He also is one of our leading assist man. He blocked 4 or 5 shots in the game. So he's been a 4-year starter for us. He's going to go somewhere, and someone's going to get a good quality player when they get him. He can play 1 through 5, even at the next level. We have Jalen Wares back. He's going to be a junior, good 3-point shooter. Typically a good free throw shooter. We kind of struggled with the free throw line on Tuesday night, but McLean did also. So, there's no excuses there. But he's a good shooter. big kid, Trevor Taylor's back. He got to start a few games last year, 6'6" junior. He'll give us some minutes. We'll start some games off, just depending on the lineups and who we play. Isaiah Hodges is our other senior that's playing right now. He started for us last year quite a few games and started this game. Good, strong kid, about 6'1", and works hard. Really, he's improved every year.
Scott, is something that the few times I have watched you play, and when you are here on the show and we talk, you seem so happy with your kids, and they seem happy with you. Is that the true case?
Well, I tell you, I really do. I really enjoy the practices. I mean, we're getting ready to get a practice, get ready for Central. We play Central tomorrow, and just discussing earlier about the freshmen we've got. I've got 2 freshmen that are going to be playing. At the end of the game, I had 2 freshmen on the court and 1 sophomore Tuesday night. So Anthony Pritchard is going to be something special. And not only this year, but the next 3 years there. Martwan Taylor does a good job as a freshman. So we got a good young group coming up. We're losing David and Isaiah, but each year we just try to get the best kids. I mean, literally for my freshman team, and we struggle sometimes to get 5, 6, 7 kids out for freshmen. I go in and ask the teachers, I want to see can I talk to every male boy that has A's or B's in the class? And that's how I'll basically pick them to come out for basketball. So get those kids, and then we'll start them off and get them in the program and get them the techniques and the defense and the offensive way that we want to run things.
And visiting with you, since I spent time as a coach and as an athletic director at Webster High School, had so much fun. The people were so nice. Everybody was so proud of the school. And when I talk to you, I get that same impression.
Our administration, our principals are there supporting us every game. They'll come to practices. They always talk after the games. It's fun to work in a situation like that with the administration, the students, even the parents of the students coming to the games. We had a great crowd. I'm not going. My coaching staff, I've had my dad there with me all 7 years. Matt Watson just came on a couple years ago. He does a great job with the freshmen, helping out varsity. We got a new hire, Larry Owens, working with our junior high and helping our varsity. So he's really good for him. A guy that's been there and played Division I and pro ball for a while. So it's a great family, and it's great.
Well, that really makes it a lot of fun to go to work every day, and much more fun to go to a game at night. But talk about your schedule and what you have coming up tournament-wise.
Right. Well, we play Central tomorrow. It's going to be a good challenge. They're always going, they're going to give a lot of pressures, a lot of similar style to McLean. We'll try to, we got out of our tempo a little bit at McLean for a while, but we settled down, got in a half-court set a few times, and was able to get a lead there. We're going to try to do similar things against Central. The tournaments, we're in the Bishop Kelly tournament. I'm not worried about the seed, but I think we got like a 6 or 7 seed in that, which is, I can see it because some of the teams in there, really quality teams. They're all ranked. I think every team's ranked in there but one in the 5A and 4A. So that'll be a good tournament. Skytook tournament. They're going to have Broken Arrow and Booker T and Owasso. Well, no, Broken Arrow's not in there. It's Owasso and Booker T are the 2 6As that are pretty good in that Skytook tournament. So we'd love to get through that first round and get to see one of those 6A schools in the Skytook tournament. So, and then we play the Sperry tournament. That'll be a good one. Give us more of a 4A, 3A look. So,
well, now as you look down the road in Class 4A, you have to be looking at one point in time as to where a district might be held, who might be in, and so many times in 4A, one district could be the toughest one in the state.
Well, the year we went to state 4 years ago, we lost our district game and then won through the 6th out there. So, it's tough for the committee to put those teams into places that are convenient for travel and record with boys and girls going to the same sites, and I understand that. So, we always say you got to win the games anyway. So, it doesn't do much good to complain whether say we got to go play McLean in a district. We'd rather not, but whatever comes our way, we'll take. We'd like, hopefully this year we can all kind of get separated. They did that last year for us where it wasn't Central, McLean, and Webster in one district, or one area at least spread us out a little bit, so.
Now we just have a few seconds. A feeder program, is it productive?
Oh, doing great now. Just I spoke, Coach Owens is the junior high coach, 7th and 8th grade. He's got a lot of kids out, teaching them the same thing that we're working on, our defense, whether we're playing gaps or on the line, up the line, our zone defense, our matchups and such, things like that. So they're going to be better prepared coming in as freshmen now than we've had in the past. So.
Well, Scott, I can't wait to get over and watch the Warriors play, and we appreciate you coming by, and the best of luck.
Well, thank you.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head girls coach at Edison High School, Coach Juan Yu. And Coach, you replace a legend in Coach Ford. This is your second year at Edison. How are things going?
Things are going according to plan. You know, when you replace a legendary coach like Coach Ford, you know, in the beginning it can be tough. But the second year around, the girls are bought into what we're doing. They're doing everything right in the classroom. They're doing very good in practice. They're working hard. They come in with a positive attitude. Nothing more I can ask for them.
Well, talk about some of the players that maybe last year as a first-year coach, you could have been in doubt as to how good they're going to be, and suddenly now they are maturing. Talk about some of your players.
Well, I have a couple young guards. They was freshmen last year. One actually started last year, and the other one is a transfer. So they're sophomores this year. They're going to lead our team as far as the backcourt, running the plays and executing the offense. I think they have the potential, once they become seniors, to go to the next level. Now, I have a senior who never played her first 3 years. I mean, she was on the team, but she just didn't get any minutes. And she came up to me this year and said, Coach, this is my senior year. What can I do to help the team? And I told her the role that she needed to fill, and she accepted it, and she's playing very well. And that's one highlight that I would like to mention, is how well she's playing after she accepted her role.
Well, that's great, and that's always such a reward when things of that nature come around, isn't it?
Yes, it's a great feeling to see a player who didn't get a chance to play too much. Now you give that child an opportunity, and they're taking advantage of that opportunity to help the team.
The young kids that are coming on, they have really bought into your philosophy?
Absolutely, absolutely. I met with the girls last week and kind of told them exactly how things should be done, because, you know, sometimes when you're young, you don't see the big picture. I kind of laid it out and told them the components we have everything we need to be a successful team. All we have to do is go out there and play together, execute the game plan, and we should have successful moments in games.
Well, talk a little bit about your schedule. Now, I know you have to play East Central, and I know you play Booker T. Washington, but some of the other teams that have real good girls programs.
Well, it's funny you mentioned those two teams, because those are two teams we play next. But, you know, within the TPS, it's a tough schedule, just playing the TPS schools. So within itself, that's going to be a challenge. Now we have the Bishop Kelly tournament right after we play East Central and BTW. One thing about the Bishop Kelly tournament, it offers 6A schools, 5A schools, and 4A schools. So we have a little mixture of teams that we can compete against, and that will help us throughout the season to prepare us for the playoffs. Also, we are in the Port City Classic, which is in Tulsa. That's a nice little tournament where you play good, strong, fundamental teams that's disciplined, and it would help my team to learn how to play against teams that are disciplined.
Okay, now when you get into the regional tournaments, what does that look like from this point? Who might be in a regional with you?
Well, we definitely know East Central. I think BTW is now 5A. You have Tahlequah, you have Pryor, and you have several teams. So you just can't pinpoint any team. You just have to be ready for any team they put us against. But our plan this year is hopefully we can host a home regional to where we will have at least a home court advantage.
Well, that is always a great plus, isn't it?
Absolutely.
When you can do that. But you have to have a good team in order to be able to get that particular tournament.
Yes, and our team this year, they have potential to be a good team. If they go ahead and play with each other, don't worry about hero basketball, believe in each other and play for each other, and we have potential to be a good team.
Well, let's take a look at the feeder program. When you go back down, how far do you go down to where the high school and your program has an influence on either the elementary or the junior high? Where does it start and how does it go?
Well, I usually just start at the junior high because the junior high is within our high school. I'm able to go out and interact with those players, go see them play in their games. So I'm just really focused on the players that we have in our particular junior high. Now, it's a fortunate thing that I'm at Edison because Edison is a school that takes pride in their academics, and parents understand that academics comes before athletics. And sometimes we have the ability to get those players to come to our school just for academics purposes only.
Well, in doing this, do you find that it, in the end, it is a strength? I mean, to me, that once you get them into the academic, then that carries over into athletics.
Absolutely, absolutely. It starts with academics. You know, you have to do right within the classroom. If you can maintain that, basketball is pretty simple because now you have half the job done. You're eligible.
Yeah.
And you're a respectful scholar within the building. So you got to carry yourself that certain way.
Coach, we want to wish you the very best of luck. Enjoyed having you. Look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you.
Stay with us. More coming up on Inside Tulsa Athletics right after this.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head basketball coach at Edison High School, Coach Michael Parrish. And Mike, it's always a pleasure having you, and the 15th year as the head coach at Edison. That's remarkable.
Well, I'm very proud. It's been a special place for me, and we've had a lot of great years there and a lot of great players. So I've been very, very lucky to have been there that long.
Well, talk about some of the kids you have this year that maybe have college potential, because normally you have had college players.
We have. We've been very lucky over the years. We've had about 40 kids in my 15 years play college basketball. So we have a couple this year. We actually only have one senior, a young man named Malachi White, who is getting some looks, Division II looks right now. He's going to be a qualifier academically, and he's a good player. He's kind of a 3 for the college level, but we're having to play him at a 3-4 inside-outside mix. So looking forward to a big year from Malachi, and hopefully things will work out well where we'll be seeing him play college basketball next year.
When you take a look at your schedule, you always have a real tough schedule. Kind of talk about it today.
Our scheduling has been kind of a philosophy to where we've scheduled some of the 6A harder schools, which we believe prepares us more for the playoffs. Scrimmage, Union, Jinx, Owasso, Broken Arrow, we try and scrimmage as tough as we can to make sure that we're prepared for our season. So our record at the end of the year may not be, glorified, but we don't, play any patsies. There's no gimmies on our schedule. So I think it prepares us for the postseason. We've had a lot of luck that way.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more, because I think a lot of people that actually schedule for a win-loss record only, when they get back into the playoffs and have to play the tough teams, they don't last long. But where you play every night, tough. Now, there was something I made a note here. Was there a special recognition on last Thursday for you guys?
Well, it is going to be this Thursday.
Is it this Thursday?
Okay. We're going to do a special recognition for one of our community leaders, Popsy Floyd, Officer Popsy Floyd, Tulsa Police Department. When I coached at East Central, I was freshman coach and actually got to coach Popsy as a freshman in high school. And then to watch his growth to go on to University of Tulsa and play football at TU and then become a Tulsa police officer. I was sitting at home this summer and I was watching the news broadcasts of an incident that took place in North Tulsa, and they were talking about this officer on his day off that came out and put his uniform on and was out on the streets just calming citizens down in Tulsa and on this particular street corner, and just went above and beyond his call to make Tulsa a better place to live. And you know, I really wanted to do something special for him, just to let him know that his contributions to the city of Tulsa are appreciated, and you know what a great role model he is for young men and women that come from the city of Tulsa, that they can go on and have success not just as an athlete but as a citizen of Tulsa and community leader. So very proud to be in a position where we could do something like that for Popsy.
And that's coming up this Thursday night?
This Thursday when we play Booker T, it'll be at halftime.
Well, that should be a great night. And when you take a look at Booker T, they're going to have one of their better teams, aren't they?
They are. I got to see them play twice this weekend in their tournament in Texas, and our challenge will be very big, and they will have my full attention. I'm glad we can do something for Popsy, but handling Booker T will be a lot bigger challenge.
Talk a little bit about your feeder program.
Edison Middle School, they're on campus, Edison Junior High now. You know, we've at Tulsa Public Schools not been able to fund the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade like we used to in junior high athletics, and now it's kind of just one team. And I was there involved with some of the tryouts, and we have some really good kids in our junior high. So wish that we could give them a little bit more development at a younger age, but from what I've seen, many of them are participating with AAU or some type of organization league that they can play in junior high. So got some really good players coming up, and look forward to the future at Edison. Okay,
when you take a look at what you have, do you still have a B team that is able to get some experience in?
Funding-wise, no. Some of the parents have elected to organize a group of the younger kids to participate in some of these leagues around Indian Nations leagues. We've only been able to fund and uniforms and coaches for one particular team. Now, we did take 15 athletes, 15 players, and some of them are a mixture of 7th and 8th graders. Some of the 7th graders and 6th graders have kind of formed a team and are going to begin looking at some other leagues. But there's not really a set schedule for a B team in the junior high right now.
Michael, we are out of time. We could sit here and talk for a long time. Want to wish you the very best of luck, and can't wait to get over to watch you play. Thank you, JB. Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to tulsarefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. tulsarefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to tulsarefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. tulsarefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head wrestling coach at Edison High School, Coach Jim Harper, and beginning your 8th year as a wrestling coach at Edison. And when we talk about Edison, we have to talk about wrestling.
We're establishing a name for ourselves, I think. You know, the last 3 years we've been in the top 10. We finished as high as 6 one year, and we're getting stronger each year.
Well, I know that when we look at what is happening now, your schedule and your tournaments, your tournament is going to be a little different, and talk about that.
It is. We have been known as the Tulsa Duels. This has been going on for 5 or 6 years, but this year, with the passing of Ray Nunley, he was our Booster Club president and very instrumental in us getting our numbers up. We've renamed the tournament the Ray Nunley Classic, and it's just a small tribute to him, but we have hopefully some more things in mind to attribute to him.
You know, Jim, I think that was so interesting because Ray and I were good friends, and during part of his illness, why we would have breakfast about every 3 or 4 weeks, but he came back and he was so dedicated to helping you, to helping the kids at Edison in wrestling, and by naming the tournament after him, he made an impact.
He definitely made an impact. His energy and just his strong will and desire for the sport it resonated throughout the school. Everyone, he was contagious. When you're around him, you want to join him. And
well, now, the tournament that's coming up, do you have some good teams coming in that's going to be there?
We do. We got Oologah's coming, which they'll be one of the top teams in 4A. Manford, one of the top teams in 4A. Union typically sends a JV squad. They have kind of a mixture of varsity JV. All the TPS schools will be there. So it's a real competitive 2-day tournament.
And by it being named after Ray Nunley, I think it will grow. Do you?
I do. Ray had a very strong name throughout the state, especially in the eastern side of Oklahoma. And, he a lot of people really admired him, and I think they'll come for him.
Well, when you talk about Ray Nunley, you got to talk about his idol, and that was Jim Sellers. So we go way back at Edison High School, and wrestling has always been a very important sport. Now, talk about some of the players that you have, the wrestlers this year, that you think that maybe they will finish much higher than a lot of other people think.
We do return. We have 3 state qualifiers, a state champion, a 2-time state champion actually on our squad. Jerome Townsell is going for his 3rd state championship this year. Eric Husseini was a state placer last year. He placed 4th as a freshman, first freshman in Edison history to do that. And Jerome could be the first 3-timer in Edison history. And we got to move in Caleb Finley from Memorial, a returning state qualifier. So we think our squad's going to be built around these guys. We have a really good heavyweight, 2 of them actually. I think we're going to be okay.
Do you have your feeder program? Is it still working very functionally for you?
It does. They've got their numbers are around 50, which serves as our junior high / club team, and they're working hard. They go 3 days a week from 6 to 8, and I think now that we're in season, they'll go every night but Friday now 6 to 8. So they're working hard, going to tournaments, and looking good.
And I know that they've made a lot of improvement as far as the practice and the dressing areas for wrestling, haven't they?
Oh, they have. Ray was instrumental in that. We've got new mat walls all the way around. We got a scoreboard in our room. We got banners hanging in our room. So you walk in our room, you can see the total history of Edison wrestling. And we got good practice mats. It's really a nice room. Our locker room's second to none. I mean, we're really proud of our facilities.
Has Ray, what he did for you, has that energized some of the past graduates, some of the past wrestlers? I know sometimes they just kind of fade away. Someone can come back like Ray and rejuvenate them, and is that happening?
It really has. A lot of our past graduates now have become our booster club, still known as the Bald Eagles. Ray came up with that name, and our participation has been really, really well. They put on a fish fry every year at the beginning of the season, and they generate some funds for us, and it's really helpful. If I don't have the money in the school account, it's good to have a backup there, but we can get some help if needed.
Well, have you had a match yet, or when is your first match?
Our first one is Friday night. We go to Glenpool. It'll be 2 top 10 teams. It should be an exciting, good, competitive duel.
Well, when you look at it, is there one wrestler maybe that at the beginning you didn't think maybe he was going to be where he is now? Do you have one of those?
Our heavyweight, actually we got 2 of them, like I said. Both of them, one's a sophomore, one's a junior. Our junior, Chester Ball, last year, first year to wrestle, he's a footballer, which I help in football too. But in football, he expressed desire to wrestle, and we got him in the room. And last year, he was 15 years old and became the kids' state runner-up. And he learned that much in 1 year. We're just excited to see what he can do his second year now.
Well, I want to wish you the very best of luck, Jim, and hope to have you back soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the head football coach as well as the athletic director of Booker T. Washington High School, Coach Brad Caleb. And Coach Caleb, let's take a look. You're in the finals. You've got a game coming up with Bixby for the gold ball, but in the first 2 games of the playoff, you have 56 points. That's remarkable.
Yes, that's is. I mean, that's our kid's been playing remarkable, and that's a product of our senior class who really kind of turned the program around, and they're playing well. They're playing well, and I just told them, you know, the team that peaks at the right time and have some luck usually have a chance to win it. And those guys have rise to the occasion, so I'm pretty proud of them so far.
You know, one of the shows that you were on earlier in the year, one of the things that you kept bringing out was how this group of kids were so dedicated in playing the very best they could. And if they did, they could win a state championship. They have done that, haven't they?
Yes, they have. I mean, as soon as we got beat by Lawton last year, those guys were in the weight room. They were ready to get after it, and they carried over into the spring, and in the fall they just kind of made a vow to have that brotherhood. And it's just a group of kids that are not jealous of each other, who makes the tackles or the sacks. And once you get a group of kids like that, man, it's hard to beat them. And right now we're playing at the right time and peaking at the right time.
Now, where you skipped a week of Thanksgiving, did that have any impact on the preparation, or did that give you more time to prepare for the championship game?
It's you know, it's advantage or disadvantage sometime on that. You know, we got a couple of kids nicked up, and so it gives a little opportunity to kind of let those guys heal up, and we just kind of treated this like you know, a learning week. We had Monday and Tuesday school, and then Wednesday, of course, you know, we're out of school, and then we came in Thanksgiving morning and to practice. And like I said, I told these guys we're going to make this a tradition, practice on this Thanksgiving morning. So and we were kind of used to that at Jinx, and so they pretty fired up about that. But we just treated it as kind of like you know, just kind of getting ready and prepared, and nothing really physical. And so this week will be a little bit more intense, a little bit, and we got 3 days to prepare for a very good football team, Bixby.
Well, and we want to remind everyone that it will be 7 o'clock on this coming Friday night, and it will be played at the stadium in Jinx. So it should be a packed house as you take on the Bixby Spartans, but their record is probably not as good as their team is. They've lost, what, 4 games? And but yet at this point in time they're playing well.
Yes, I mean, it's a team that have won the last 3 years, and so of course they beat 2 great opponents. You know, Midwest City, you know, a very good football team, which kind of shocked me they beat. But those kids have been there before, and so I know we beat them regular season, but man, Coach Montgomery does a great job of preparing those guys, and so they're not going to just give us the gold ball. We have to go in there and take it, and so we're going to prepare this week and kind of roll the dice and hope we can come up with a victory.
You know, that's what makes it exciting. If you just stop and think about it, as I do as a fan. Here you're playing Bixby, who has won the last 2 gold balls, and the fact that your kids came in with the idea we are going to do it, and they have displayed that ability up to this point. So now Friday night, 7 o'clock at Jenks, couldn't get any better.
Oh, it's going to be a great environment, and you know, despite we've been ranked #1 pretty much all season, and going into this game, we definitely going to be the underdogs. And I told the kids, I said when I root for the Super Bowl or the NCAA, I root for the underdogs. So we're going to be the underdogs, and we should be, because they still have the throne until somebody knock them off, and so it's going to be a great game. So I'm looking forward to it.
When you take a look at this year's team, I know that you had some kids that came about maybe that you didn't expect to be what they are now. Do you have any of those you'd like to mention?
Yeah, J.J. Hester, one of our receivers who had incredible interception against Lawton. A one-hand interception, and I think he ran it back maybe 60 yards. And the most important guy that probably is really turned this whole team around is our quarterback, Philip Wheatley. Year before, he basically played as a sophomore. But this year, he has played very well, and he got our offense clicking on all cylinders. So if he can get one more game and play well one more game, we got a great shot of winning it all.
I think it's so much fun as we watch it on television, because you can see the closeness, or I detect the closeness just watching you play on TV, and the fact that those kids really love one another.
Yeah, they do. We teach, that's one team, one heartbeat. And that's how we practice, and that's how we approach every game. And those guys are every bit of that. One team, one heartbeat. So, like I said, we're gonna try to do it one more time. And like I said, I think the team that come out with least mistakes probably going to be victorious on Friday.
Well, I wish you the very best of luck, and look forward to having you back with the gold ball here on the table.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Stay with us on Inside Tulsa Athletics. More coming up right after this.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff. Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
We continue inside Tulsa Athletics as we welcome aboard the Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, Gil Cloud. And Gil, when we take a look at what is happening today in the Oklahoma Secondary School Activities Association, it is one busy place.
It is, because this is a transitional time now with football and basketball and wrestling and swimming still going on, and really in small school football for 2 more weeks after this one. So it's a busy time. We're excited about Booker T still being able to play and play for the state championship in 6A 2. Friday night at Jenks, 7 o'clock, Hunter Dooley Stadium, and we're excited about that. But we have other programs started. Our basketball season has started, both high school and junior high, and swim season has started, and wrestling, as you heard today on the show, is getting underway. So we've got a lot of good things. But last week I was over at the Activity Association serving on the athletic director's board of directors. And what we do about 3 times a year is we go into the association and we take recommendations from all of the various coaching panels that come into the OSSAA to make recommendations for rules changes and procedural changes. And so yesterday we heard a whole bunch of information from those folks. So I thought I'd talk about that a little bit.
Oh, that'd be good.
I think volleyball, the first thing that came up in volleyball was the coaches wanted, rather than to have the ratings used for pre-establishing who plays, the way it is now, if West 1 plays East 4 and East 2 plays West 3, not necessarily is that by strength of schedule or anything else. That's just if you came out of the West region as a number 2, you're playing a number 3. Mm-hmm. What the coaches want to do is take those 8 teams, once they're all selected from the regionals, and rank them 1 through 8. And 1 plays 8, and 2 plays 7, and all the way through. So you have a true state champion of the based on the coach's opinion, are the best 8 teams, 1 through 8. And so that did pass, and that'll happen this next year, where the coaches will be able, the 8 coaches that are involved will be able to vote on how the ranking or the seeding for that tournament will be. They wanted to also, the volleyball coaches wanted to move the 3 and 4A tournament to a Friday, Saturday, from Friday, Saturday, to Monday, Tuesday. The 5A, 6A is on Monday and Tuesday now. We had to reject that one, and the reason why was because we don't have enough officials.
Oh, I hadn't thought
to
about
have
that.
3A and 4A and 5A and 6A all going on at the same time in different locations. So we did reject that, and it'll remain on Friday and Saturday. In cheer, we only had, we had 2 items in cheer. We governed cheer as well. One was, would there be music or not in the competition, state competition? And we voted to allow music. Music will not increase or decrease their score any, but it may make it a little bit more pleasurable for the fans to be able to watch. So there'll be music during the competition. And we set aside a co-ed classification. In the past, there have been male and female competing, but there's just been one class. So now there's going to be, if you have mixed genders, then you can compete with co-ed or you can compete with one. That's about all I know about that. And that's probably about all I want to know about that. But that was it. Cross country wanted to add a class, and we voted in favor of that. Pretty reluctant a lot of times to add classes, but there are so many of the coaches feel like that in the smaller schools, if there was actually a better opportunity for them to compete, they could probably put some teams together. The way it is now, a lot of the smaller classes have 1 or 2 that come, not 5, which you need to be able to compete. And they really think if there was another class where the range wasn't so large from top to bottom in the size of the schools, that there would be more kids again. So we voted yes, and they're going to try it next year on a pilot and see if that works. And JB, the last thing we're going to talk about is softball. Softball had about 5 items. The first item was interesting because there weren't any provisions in the rules for a 3-team district, how you were supposed to play. And yet over the years, we've had teams that have dropped out in the middle of the year because of injuries or eligibility or whatever. So we set the parameters for a 3-team district. Now that's in the rules. The other 2 items that were interesting, 2A and 3A voted to have district play, so that you have to qualify in your district in order to play for the regional championship. In the past, everybody required to play would play and go through the regional. Now you have to be in the top 4 in your district to be able to go to regional. And I think that's a good thing. And the last item was to make sure that once you get into district play and you've finished district play, that those teams that go in and win their regional, that the coaches come back again and seed those teams 1 through 8. So you have really the very best 2 teams at the end. So those were some of the things that we took up.
Well, that sounds like that they're trying to do the right thing.
They are trying to do the right thing.
Well, we need to take a time out and come back and talk about the athletics in the Tulsa Public Schools. Stay with us. We're back with Gil Cloud right after this.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics as we continue visiting with Gil Cloud, Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools. And Gil, we need to look at maybe some of the upcoming events that's going to be happening in the Tulsa Public Schools.
JB, we got 3 weeks before we break for winter break, and I tell you, it's 3 jam-packed weeks of activities with all of our schools now making the transition to basketball and swimming and wrestling. With football still going on at Booker T. The Booker T basketball team, the boys team, spent the weekend down in the Texas area, North Texas, playing in a festival down there. We have teams that will be playing on Tuesday night of this week and Tuesday and Friday of the next 2 weeks. The Tournament of Champions is the 27, 28, and 29 of December. And of course, we're all looking forward again to the return to the BOK showcase, which will be February the 10th. That's after, it's a little bit later than it's been in the past, but we feel like it'll be a really, really big show. Got some really good games scheduled that we'll release here later on in January. And so we have that transition time, which is really important. The semester ends, which is also very important because we have semester tests at the end of the year. And of course, eligibility springs eternal for the second semester, and we need to make sure that our student athletes are matriculating academically as well as athletically as we go into that second semester.
When you take a look at the Tournament of Champions this year coming right after Christmas, and the fact that both boys and girls play in it, you bring in 16 of the best teams in the state of Oklahoma. And it really has become successful.
It is. It's I tell you that in the teams that we have in this year, all ranked teams. I'm telling you, the boys and girls bracket, those semifinal matches, games on Thursday night this year, which will be the 28th of December, could be a state semifinals.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere in this part of the region of the country. I mean, they're really, really great basketball players with some tremendous individuals. I mean, we have 2 of the smaller schools coming in, Wright City and Ringwood, both have 6'11" players coming in. I mean, you just don't see a 6'11" player.
Not very often.
So I think, we got the number 2 girls team in Tahlequah coming in during the preseason rankings. And of course, Owassa's girls are really tough. Westmore's girls are really tough. You just look through the entire bracket, and every game is going to be a tremendous basketball game. And it's interesting because we know going in somebody's going to be 0-3 and somebody's going to be 3-0. But we've had 0-3 teams from Class B and Class A come in and play their tails off, end up winning. That's the only 3 games they lose. They win the state championship in their class. So that's why the smaller schools really want to come and play in it, because they know it prepares them for the very best at their level, playing against the very best in the state.
And I think it's such a great tournament from the standpoint that you go out there at 9 o'clock in the morning, and my goodness, there's over 1,000 people there. And the way they have bought into the boys and girls together, I think it's been remarkable, and it's been a great success.
Oh, it's a success, from the standpoint, and we'll have Wilson on our next show to talk about the matchups and everything. But our partners out there at the Mabee Center, Tony Winters and his crew, do such a great job of hosting the tournament for us, and they really enjoy it being on their campus. They enjoy that time that the 16 schools come into to the Oral Roberts campus. So it's really a great night, 3 nights of basketball. Our corporate partners, gosh, we have 8 different food establishments that we'll also mention in the next show that provide food for the hospitality room. Of course, the Marriott, is the host hotel, is outstanding partners with us and have been for that and with the Hall of Fame. And I want to make sure everybody knows that we'll be releasing those teams on December 6th at our press conference at the Marriott. And of course, that day we'll also have the Animal will be there with Pat Jones and Al Jerkins doing a live remote. So it's become quite a festival, I think, of basketball, and it should be, because it's a great time for people to come to Tulsa and really enjoy high school basketball.
And it seems to me like every time you talk to a coach or some of his fans that are from the western part of the state, extreme southern part of the state, they love coming to the Mabee Center.
Oh, they know about the Tournament of Champions. When we start vetting those teams, and really we start now, for next year's tournament to find out who has the returning starters and watch how they matriculate through the season to see if they do get to the state tournament. Those are the teams that we want to invite. They all talk about Tournament of Champions. There's no question about it. And there have been others that have tried to emulate that, but I think we still stand out there as probably the premier high school basketball tournament in the state of Oklahoma.
Well, it started back in 1966, 65,
Yes, sir.
66, I think was the very first one, and so many of the tournaments that have come along have died, but not there. We've run out of time. Hope to see you again in 2 weeks.
I'll be back.
Best of luck.
You bet. Thank you.
Stay with us. More coming up right after this.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Thanks for watching us today on Inside Tulsa Athletics. Hope you enjoyed the show, and let us encourage you once again to get out and support the athletic programs of the Tulsa Public Schools. Without them, so many of the children that go to school would not have an opportunity to compete. So we want to encourage you to support the athletic programs of the Tulsa Public Schools, and we'll see you again right here in 2 weeks.